Mondays with Mickey. My name is Mike Knigge and I am your host, and this is the week of October 12th, 2015. This week we continue our coverage of the Magic Kingdom, specifically with the Be Our Guest restaurant and our experiences there, the Enchanted Tales with Belle, and the StoryBook Circus. Along with that, we're also going to go ahead and take up a 30-question Disney challenge that's been running around all the Disney vlogs out there on YouTube. Last week, See Ya Real Soon put out theirs, and they were kind enough to put the actual challenge in their comments. So we are definitely going to take up the mantle and see if we can get it done within 5 minutes. But before we get into that, we have some news. Starting off with Disney Springs and a couple new announcements to help spice up this up-and-coming area of Disney World, Walt Disney World to be specific. Starting off with a restaurant called Homecoming, Florida Kitchen and Southern Shine. It's going to be run by a man by the name of Art Smith, or Chef Art Smith to be completely accurate. He's a celebrity chef. It's going to be a farm-to-fork menu, meaning it's going to feature some of Florida's best produce and natural products, and it's going to be a traditional Southern menu. No details as far as what they're going to put on it, but from what I understand, they're definitely going to go and try to give you that feel of down south cooking. Along with that, they're also going to be opening up a thing called the Ganachery. It's going to be a chocolate store where they do custom blended chocolate, and there'll actually be a chocolatier on hand that will handcraft each thing that you make on stage in front of you. So, two really cool things coming to Disney Springs. You know, those who've already been there recently or haven't been there since it was downtown Disney, it's a whole new world from what it was when it was downtown Disney. So if you haven't been there, I highly recommend you get there. For those who have been there, you've been seeing these changes, particularly since the dreaded car garage thing has finally been finished. If you've been down there recently, you've seen some of these changes that are coming, and it's really shaping up. So these are going to be two fantastic additions to Disney Springs, and I'm personally looking forward to checking them out on our next trip. The last piece of news comes all the way out from Hawaii at Aulani. Aulani is going to be closing down their Hawaii lawn. It's going to be undergoing some enhancements. On that lawn, they did their Starlit Hui stage show, along with the Ohana Disney Movie Nights. From November 8th to December 16th, they're going to be closing that down. They're moving the stage show into their lobby, so you can still see the main parts of their show, and you can still get the meet and greets with like the belly dancer, not the belly dancers, the hula dancers, and the characters from Disney. And they're also offering at the Pauhana room, you can still watch Disney movies all day long there and check out movies to take back to your room. So for those who are going out to Aulani, or those who've been to Aulani, who already know or are familiar with these Starlit shows, this is what's going on during that time frame. They're still going to make sure they have those offerings for you, but they're just going to have to change it slightly while they upgrade the areas that these things are going to be in. So, with that said, that completes the news. I'm going to go ahead and start doing the challenge. Now, the challenge calls for 5 minutes. So, I have my phone, and I'm going to time this and see if I can do this. Now, obviously, I listened to Joe and Ashley over at See Ya Real Soon do theirs, but I haven't really looked over this list since they did it, because I wanted to make sure that I'm getting my honest answers and I'm doing it fairly and not cheating. So I just printed this out, literally right before I started recording. So, on my phone, I've got a stopwatch, and we're going to see if I can make this happen. So, without further ado, and start. Favorite character, Sorcerer Mickey. Favorite princess, ooh, that's a tough one. Merida. Favorite heroine, I'm going to go with, ooh, this is tough. We'll go with, there's a lot of good characters out there. We'll go with the Savior from Once Upon a Time. Favorite prince? Well, I'll do Charming from Once Upon a Time. Favorite hero? Buzz Lightyear. Favorite animal? Thumper. Let's see. Favorite sidekick? That's a good question. I'll go with Olaf today. Favorite villain? Now that one's tough, but I'm going to say Maleficent on a regular basis, but Another villain that was really grown on me is Rumpelstiltskin from Once Upon a Time. So if I had a favorite male and a favorite female, that would be them. Rumpelstiltskin and Maleficent. Let's see. Favorite original character. Talking like Minnie, Mickey, and so forth. Again, Mickey Mouse. If I want to be really specific, Sorcerer Mickey. Favorite love song. Can you feel the love tonight? Favorite song. I'm in a Halloween mood, so right now I'm going to go with a Halloween song. We'll say, what's this? Let's see. Favorite villain song. Be prepared. Yeah, that was catchy, but I like it. Alright, so favorite kiss. That's a real tough one. Favorite kiss would probably be from Oh, I got it. Favorite kiss would be from Lady and the Tramp when they're eating the spaghetti and they kiss. Let's see. Oh, I lost my place. This is not gonna help. Ooh, I skipped one. Least favorite song. Least favorite song would probably be least favorite song would probably be Zero to Hero. First movie I ever saw would be Dumbo. Favorite classic would probably be Dumbo. Song that always gets stuck in my head. When You Wish Upon a Star. Favorite Pixar film? Wall-E. Least favorite Pixar film? Haven't seen it, but I already know I'm not a huge fan of the idea of it. We'll say Planes. Favorite sequel? Toy Story 2. Overrated movie. Let's face it, people. Frozen. Good movie, but way overrated. Underrated movie. Now, I haven't seen this, but everything I've heard about it, I'm going to say Tomorrowland, because honestly, it's an original movie. And it's an original storyline. And from what I understand, it's a fantastic movie, but it just didn't get the fanfare and the numbers that it was supposed to get. Let's see. Movie that makes you laugh. Gosh, a ton of them. Let's say Monsters, Inc. Movie that makes you cry. Up. The saddest scene from your favorite movie. Well, since my favorite movie... Oh my gosh, there's a lot of really good Disney movies. Right now, I'd say the saddest scene from my favorite movie, because right now I'm really into Saving Mr. Banks. So, saddest scene would be when the writer of Mary Poppins, her mom dies. Her father dies. Let's see, saddest death. I'm going to say Carl's wife from Up. Favorite quote. All magic comes at a price, dearie. Let's see. Favorite theme park, Magic Kingdom. Favorite theme attraction. I'm really a big fan of Mickey's PhilharMagic, although Seven Dwarfs Mine Train's pretty darn close. And then favorite theme park show. That's gonna have to be Fantasmic. So, without further ado, I didn't make it. Let's hear exactly how bad I didn't make it.
Total time, 5 minutes, 23.05 seconds.
So, 5 minutes, 23 seconds. Alright, well, didn't quite make it, but maybe if I hadn't beat around the bush on several of these and really thought about it, I would have gotten it. So, I'm going to throw this challenge out to you guys, those who are watching it. Why don't you take a minute and do this challenge yourselves and see if you can get it done within 5 minutes. I will have a blank copy of this in my description, so that way you can do that. You don't have to do a video, but if you do, feel free to tag me on Twitter, or send me a message here on YouTube or through Facebook. I'd love to watch you do it. If not, if you're not really into doing videos or anything like that, just fill it out like you would do any other questionnaire and leave it in my comments so I can see what you guys think. So on with the actual coverage of Magic Kingdom. I'm going to start with the StoryBook Circus. But before I get started, let's take a moment and watch a quick video I put together of the StoryBook Circus. Alright, well, welcome back. I hope you liked it. I know it was kind of short, but that was StoryBook Circus. We only did 3 major things when we were there at StoryBook Circus. There were several things we didn't do, but this is the stuff that we did. First off, let's talk about Dumbo. Dumbo was pretty cool, because, Dumbo's been around forever. And originally it was just one ride train itself. Now when they expanded it, they put 2, so they can get twice as many people on at a time. But what they also did was create this gigantic big top tent that is their queue area, and it's a free roaming queue area. So when you walk in, it looks like you're in this giant circus, and it's a playground for kids to run around playing. And they give you a little buzzer like you see at restaurants, and when it's your turn to hop in line, go on the ride, the buzzer goes off, and you just go over, turn on your buzzer, and go. But in the meantime, you can free roam around inside the tent and have as much fun as you want. Now, technically, you can stay in that tent as long as you want. There's no requirement, when the buzzer goes off, you have to go. No, you can stay in there, but you can't go up to the podium until the buzzer goes off. So you can spend as much time in that big top tent as you want and have all the fun you want. My son had a ball. Now, it's a giant jungle gym, kind of like you see in the McDonald's playrooms. My son was all up in there and having a great time. It's not really designed for adults to go up there, although there are a couple adult walk-ups where you can get up there and get to your child if your child's scared to go down or something of that nature. I actually ended up having to go up there to retrieve my son because it was time to go and he did not want to go. But, it's cool in there, it's air-conditioned, it very well themed, a lot of little things like you can set up fireworks and just all kinds of fun play things to do to kill time and distract yourself. It's also a great place to cool down in the Florida heat. So the Dumbo ride itself is essentially the same ride. You hop in your elephant and you can pull the sticks. You can go up or you can go down. And of course, once it hits at the end of the ride, it automatically brings you down. I'm a huge guy. I was slightly concerned that a ride like that would not do well with me. I'm over 300 pounds, so I was a little antsy about it and worried that it wouldn't work out. But honestly, it rolled like a champ. I didn't see any hesitation with my big butt in there. And my daughter and I rode it together. So it was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed it. It's a classic ride from Walt Disney World. And to see that they've expanded it and made it so that more people can enjoy it, even better. Next up is going to be the Casey Jr. Soak in the Splash Station. Now, this is pretty cool. It's basically it's the train, with all the circus animals and whatnot in it. And as you walk through different areas of said train, the animals spit at you and shoot water at you. So if you're wanting to stay dry at the Magic Kingdom, this is probably not the place to go. However, it's really well themed. It's cute. There's a little music going on, and it shoots water constantly all day. So if you're looking to get wet and kind of cool down a little bit, it's a nice thing to do. Let the kids run, play in the water while you kind of sit down and relax. I know if you watched the video here just a second ago, I mean, you saw a brief glimpse of what it looks like there. But, we had a chance to kind of walk through and look at it. My son tried to run into the water. We had to stop him. But, it's not a major attraction, but it's a nice place to cool off. And then finally, from the StoryBook Circus is the Barnstormer. This is a ride for StoryBook that I was really looking forward to trying out. I've never done the Barnstormer. I know it's been refreshed and all that jazz. It was actually a lot of fun. For a smaller kids coaster, the thing's actually pretty fast. We had a lot of fun with it. Of course, my son was freaking out about going through this giant sign where it shows like Goofy crashed his plane through the sign. The coaster itself is themed after like a biplane. So you hop in it and it takes you up, and like I said, it's got some decent speed to it. For a little roller coaster, it was a lot of fun, but no massive drops that really make you clench your stomach or anything like that. So I highly suggest it. It's definitely a lot cooler than you would think. I know most adults will probably walk by and go, "Oh, that's a kid's coaster," but it's a lot more fun than it seems. So I highly recommend it. The theming and the queue of it is really cool. You'll see like a crashed rocket and all these things where you can see Goofy just had oopses. So definitely worth checking out. And when I say Goofy, we should say the Great Goofini, because Great Goofini is the one flying the plane, not Goofy. So definitely worth checking out. It's a lot of fun. The line really wasn't that long at all. And they try to have fans set up to kind of cool you off in the Florida heat. So definitely worth checking out if you're going to check out the StoryBook Circus. Of course, there's the Big Top Souvenirs, Pete's Silly Sideshow, where you can meet the characters. We didn't get a chance to do any of that stuff because we wanted to hit these particular rides and move on. But definitely worth checking out. I know the next time I go, I'm going to probably spend a little more time at StoryBook Circus just to kind of check out the rest of it. So on to Enchanted Tales with Belle. So like all these segments, I've got a video for you. So why don't you check out the video from Enchanted Tales with Belle, and I'll be right back with you.
And I know the perfect time. Do you want to see Belle? Yeah. Then I need you to repeat after me. Take me back to the day Belle and Beast fell in love.
Take me back to the day that Belle and Beast fell in love.
And as time went on, Belle realized that the beast was not mean or cruel, but in his heart was sweet and kind. And Belle and the beast became the very best of friends. And that is the story of how the beauty met the beast. In voice of man, we show our appreciation, a little
Good job. All right, well, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed it. I know seeing my son as the Beast was incredibly cute, and we had a lot of fun with it. My daughter, being the dancing gray stuff, was pretty freaking funny. So it was a great time. Enchanted Tales with Belle, I can't say anything, give any more high praise about it. You start off basically walking up to Belle's father's cottage. Okay, you're walking up, you can see all the lamps and stuff like that. You saw a lot of pictures of lamps and things of that nature. Well, these are supposed to be inventions that her father made. And it's all leading up to the cottage. When you get in the cottage, you see like blueprints for things he's making. There was a checkerboard there that, he apparently likes to play checkers. You can see a blueprint and a prototype for the music box that you see in one of the dining rooms at Be Our Guest. So it's all her father's cottage and his little workshop, basically. And you walk in, they lead you into this main room where there's a mirror. And they start talking about going back to help Belle and help her make this decision to trust the Beast, essentially, or to see her make that decision. And, through Disney magic, the mirror stretches and grows and turns into a doorway that you walk through, and you immediately appear inside Beast's castle. You get to talk to Madame Wardrobe, and she tells you about what's coming up, and we want to surprise Belle and put her at ease before the big dinner with her and Beast in the movie. And, she hands out parts for you to play, because we're going to all reenact this whole thing she's been going through with the Beast. And, anybody's free to sign up. They do try to tell people that they're going to do it. Certain adults played like the armor and the guards and things of that nature. But they invited anybody to volunteer that wanted to volunteer. They had plenty of extra parts, especially for the kids, but even the adults, if the adults wanted to get involved. So everybody gets a part, you walk in, and then you get to act out the story of Belle and the Beast and how they met and all that. It's a quick show, and you get to meet Belle, and you do pictures with Belle. It's a special photo opportunity. And it's really cute because it's very, very involved, and you get to be part of the story. We had a ball with it. Even my wife and I, who actually didn't take part in the actual story itself, we just sat back and watched the kids do it. It was a lot of fun. And when we went at the end of the day because they had to close it down earlier in the day for some kind of a technical issue. We went later in the day, at the end of the night. We were like the last group in, and they were still full of energy and made it a whole lot of fun. It was a very magical experience for us. So hopefully we'll do it again one of the next trips we do. And I highly recommend it for anybody, whether you're bringing kids or family with you or not. It's still a great experience and a nice chance to see Belle and see some of these characters. Lumiere and Madame Wardrobe were amazing animatronics. They come to life. Lumiere, I mean, obviously, if you really look close, you can see some of where the magic it comes from. And it's not really meant for you to do that, but still, the character itself is fantastic. It moves around, you can see his face talking, and Madame Wardrobe very much the same way. So, again, great impressions. We loved it. I highly recommend it for anybody. So next up is the big one for this show, for this episode. It's going to be the Be Our Guest restaurant. Our experiences with this restaurant and our feelings on it. But, like always, here's a quick video. Take a look and we'll be right back. Alright everybody, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that quick video of Be Our Guest. I know it doesn't do the restaurant justice, and I know I didn't have a ton of video from the restaurant, it was mainly just pictures, but it's quick glimpses to what it looks like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give you a quick overview of the restaurant, our feelings on it, the way it looked, and I'm also going to break it down, because we actually ate there twice. We ate lunch and dinner. But overall, and for this whole segment, you can see Lumiere has joined us for the meal, or not the meal, but the show. But he did join us for the meal, and I'll get to that in just a second. Let's start with the overall restaurant. You can see from the pictures the theming is amazing. From tapestries on the walls, to the ceiling being painted, the ballroom looks, the main dining room, which is the ballroom for the movie, looks like it's straight out of the movie. One of the amazing details in that ballroom being that if you look at the giant windows, you can actually see it snowing. And when I say you can see it snowing, it doesn't look like a computer screen or some kind of light that just keeps going. It looks like random, true snow falling outside the windows. It's unbelievably themed. It's fantastic. They have gargoyles on the outside of the entrance. And for understanding, each of the gargoyles has names. We didn't really take time to go through it. At the exit, there's a giant stained glass window you can take pictures in front of. The details in the master study, for example, with the shredded painting and the curtains that are all torn apart, the enchanted rose itself being in that room, and even with the rose, when a petal falls off the rose, lightning strikes, and you see the painting of the prince turn into the beast and then back into the prince again. There's a hidden Mickey in that room that is a nice little detail, and it's a very difficult hidden Mickey to find. In fact, some of the cast members didn't even know it was there. When I went looking for it and I couldn't find it, I asked a cast member if they knew, and they had no clue. They had never even heard of it. They had to actually go find a cast member that had been there since the restaurant opened to help find it, because it's kind of, the details of it being there are starting to fall loose, and it's definitely becoming more and more of a challenge than it already is to find. But the room itself, like I said, very well themed and very, the music in there, the mood in there, very much the master study from the movie. Then you have the third dining room, which is a room with a magic music box in the center with Belle and Beast dancing and just slowly spinning in the center of the room. And along the walls are all the different tapestries and pictures of the characters from the castle, be it Mrs. Potts and Chip, or Beast and Belle, Lumiere and Cogsworth, and all that. All these elegant and really well done tapestry paintings around the walls give it a very elegant feel in that room. So, theming wise, this is probably one of the best themed restaurants, and it's very clear to see why it is giving Cinderella's Royal Table a run for its money as far as popularity is concerned, and why it's one of the most difficult restaurants to get. I mean, come on, you're sitting in Beast's castle. How much better can you get than that? So, like I said, we ate lunch and dinner there. So I'm going to start with lunch. And I'm only going to tell you about the food I ate personally. I might mention some of the stuff that they had, but this way I can tell you exactly how I felt on the food. Now, overall, both meals, none of us were disappointed. We loved the food. So we can go ahead and just start there. But starting with lunch, it's a lunch experience and dinner experience are completely different. Lunch is a quick service, and you can order in advance and have your food ready when you get there, or you can order when you arrive. So you check in, there's a little booth out in front of the walkway that leads to the castle. You can go up to, check in, and they give you a rose to take with you. Now, as I understand, the rose isn't overly necessary anymore because of the magic bands, and they can locate you in the bathroom. I mean, the magic bands really, they know where you are at all times. So it's not overly necessary from what I understand. We really didn't use it, but it was cool to have. In fact, you saw a little picture of it. It's like a little red plastic rose thing. But you check in, and when it's your time, you go down the bridge to the restaurant, and they lead you into this little room off to the side, in this hallway. In the hallway, you have knights, like shining armor, essentially, on either side of the hallway. And if you listen closely, they talk. They talk constantly. They fall asleep and snore. They're really funny to listen to if you've got the time to sit there and listen to them for a little while. In fact, they were in the video. You got a chance to hear them snoring a little bit, and my son telling them to wake up. But they lead you in the hallway in line while you're waiting to get to the actual ordering terminals. You walk into the room, and the menus are up on the wall, lighted, and it looks like they're in some kind of a cabinet kind of thing. They're all lit and pretty looking. Incidentally, this is also the room where you meet Beast at dinner. But they walk up to a terminal, they scan your magic band to see, what kind of meal, how you're paying for the meal and all that. And you pick your food right there, what you want. And you decide what you want, they get it all closed out, and you go find a table. Again, you're wearing the magic bands, so they know where you are at all times. So you go find a table in any of the 3 dining rooms you want to eat in. We chose to go ahead and eat in the master's study. We wanted to make sure we got a meal in there. It's the smallest of the dining rooms, but it's also, I'd say one of the best themed rooms. That and the main ballroom are probably the best themed rooms directly from the movie. So we wanted to eat in there near the Enchanted Rose, and we got really close to the Rose, actually. Pretty darn close. So we sat in there and ate, and at quick service, the dining rooms have their own fill your own drink stations, essentially. And so, there was a fill-up station right there in the dining room. We hung out there and checked out the decor. I walked around and took a ton of pictures. In fact, most of those pictures you saw, most of them come from lunch because I had the time. We were waiting on our food. I wasn't like I had to wait for a waitress to come by and say, hey, what do you want? So I went around and took pictures. Came back. By the time I got back, the food was there. We had our drinks and we were eating. And what I ate was the croque monsieur. Now, it's essentially a ham and cheese sandwich with bechamel sauce. And I got, with that for dessert, I got the Master's Cupcake. And the Master's Cupcake is a chocolate cupcake with the gray stuff on top. It's delicious. Don't believe me? It's delicious. So, we ate that. I ate that for lunch. My wife had the braised pork and green beans. I don't recall what my daughter had, but I'm sure I had a picture up there of it. All of us loved our food. My son couldn't finish his food. We had to help him with his food. The food was fantastic. I highly recommend it. Definitely check it out because the menu is I wouldn't say very broad, but it's different from anything else in the parks. So you get a hot, very filling meal, and it's a nice place to cool off because you've got the unlimited refills station. You can keep refilling your drinks. You can change it up, cool off. The master study worked out really well for us because it's a darker room, it's a cooler room, and like I said, we got to be near the Enchanted Rose. Incidentally, we were like right next to the Hidden Mickey in the room. The Hidden Mickey, again, very difficult to find. So, when we realized where it was, we're like, oh, how did we miss that the whole time? Well, honestly, you have to be standing in a specific spot to see it. So it's very tough to find. I won't give it away this time unless you ask really, 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 really nicely. But it's definitely cool to go check out and find, especially when you realize you found it. It's pretty cool. So anyway, that was lunch. We came in, we had our lunch and hung out and enjoyed it, and went about our day for the rest of the day. Came back for dinner, and like I said, dinner and lunch are completely different experiences. Dinner, you check in. And when it's your time, they lead you up. They lead you up to the main gate, and you wait. And they come out and they call your name. And the person that comes and gets you is holding a Lumiere, which is why we got this, by the way, because it's really cool. And for the record, this thing is not plastic. It is metal. It is very heavy. But they walk you to your table holding a candlestick, a Lumiere specifically. And when my son asked them about it, he's like, well, that's a lot of Lumieres. Isn't he over at Enchanted Tales? They said, this isn't Lumiere. That this is Javert, his cousin. And all the candlesticks in the restaurant are Lumiere's cousins. So for those who are really picky about it, it's technically not Lumiere, it's his cousin. So they walk you to your table. Unfortunately, at dinner, you don't get to choose where you get to eat. So we were very happy, we were ecstatic that we chose to eat in the master study because there was no other way we were going to get to enjoy it. So we ate in the main ballroom. So that means the only room we didn't eat in was the music box room, with all the tapestries on the walls and the music box in the middle. But I did get video of that, which you hopefully got to see. So we sat there, we ordered our dinner. For dinner, I had the lamb chops. And I substituted, they had like a puree that I substituted for the mac and cheese au gratin. But cooked to perfection. And when I say cooked to perfection, unbelievably cooked to perfection. The flavors were fantastic. You get some bread to start off with, to nibble on while you're waiting on your food, and they'll refill your bread if you want. Your regular drinks, you get refills. I got this goblet here. This is the Souvenir Castle goblet. I ordered this along with my regular drink. You have two choices. There's a lemonade and there's a fruit punch with a lime foam, I believe. This was unbelievably tasty. Unfortunately, you don't get refills on this, but I wanted the mug. But you don't get refills, but the taste on that thing was awesome. So I nursed that along with my regular drink. I didn't pay extra because I wanted it. So had that, and then for dessert, I had the gray stuff. Now, you're probably like, didn't you have the Master's Cupcake with the gray stuff at lunch? I did. But the gray stuff at dinner is different from the gray stuff at lunch. And it's served differently. So I got to try the gray stuff for both lunch and dinner. And I wanted to make sure I got the full experience because I said it earlier. The movie itself said, try the gray stuff. It's delicious. Don't believe me? Ask the dishes. So I didn't have to ask the dishes. I tried them. They were tasty. Although I could have asked the dishes later when my daughter was playing, the singing walking gray stuff. So either way, I had the gray stuff with that. Very tasty. The little brownie cookie thing that comes on top doesn't really do the gray stuff justice. It was all right. I liked it, but it wasn't. The gray stuff way outshined what it was sitting on top of. So that was a little bit of a disappointment. But overall, I loved it. I'd order it again. I enjoyed it. But so we did that. We had our meal, and as the meal goes on, Beast off and on comes through your dining room. Because he does his meet and greet all night, and it's for people after they've finished their dinners. And as he takes breaks, he has to go through the dining rooms. So he'll go wave to everybody, take a break, and then when he comes back like 15 minutes later, he comes out and they announce him in the dining rooms, and he goes and not greets you individually, but comes in and waves in every dining room, basically says hi, and then goes off to his meet and greet. They do this one to give him breaks because he can't be up there all day long. He needs a breather. And two, also, it's a meal service. People move in and out as they eat their dinners, so it gives him a chance to greet people who've come in new, fresh off the street. We were actually there during Wishes, so you could actually hear the fireworks over the restaurant, which was kind of interesting to hear. And it's funny to see people's faces going, what's going on? Well, look at the time. It's Wishes. So we ate our dinner, and then we went in to meet Beast. Now, with the meet and greet with Beast, he does not sign autographs. And it's not that he's trying to slight you, but let's face it, if you look at his hands, if you've watched the movie and you've seen him try to eat soup or cereal or anything like that with a spoon, he can't do it with a spoon. What makes you think he can write? And unfortunately, his paws, he just can't get the writing thing down. So he doesn't do autographs, but he does do pictures. And if you don't have the Memory Maker service, you can give the PhotoPass photographer your camera, and they will take the picture with you with your camera, as well as the PhotoPass camera in case you want to get that as well. But you go in, you get to meet him. He's a very generous host. He's not imposing and scary at all for the kids. My son was so excited to meet him. Of course, my daughter was all kinds of ecstatic to meet him. My wife as well. We had a great time. It was really fun to meet him and get pictures with him. And that was the end of it. On our way out, again, there's the stained glass window you can take pictures with. But, our impressions, we loved the restaurant. I loved it so much, I had to have my own Lumiere for the house. He sits on my mantle. We really enjoyed it a lot. Whether I go back or not, I'd probably go back. I liked lunch, I think, better than dinner. Although dinner was extremely tasty, I liked lunch better. Lunch was a quick service, dinner was a table service. And if I'm paying out of pocket, dinner is very expensive. Luckily for us, we're on the dining plan, so it didn't cost us an arm and a leg to eat dinner there. But had we eaten there out of our own pocket, a la carte, essentially, without the dining plan, it would have really taken a bite out of our hide. So I would love to eat there again regardless, But on future trips, if I eat there again, it'll probably be lunch, because the lunch variety is really good. And again, it's an opportunity to come into a really cool Disney themed space. That's when I say cool, not only cool in the awesome kind of way, but temperature wise as well in Florida. And a place where you have refillable drinks, so you can kind of cool off, rehydrate before you go back out there and start hitting rides. So that's my review on Be Our Guest. It's a fantastic restaurant. I can definitely see why it and Cinderella's Royal Table are going head to head right now for most popular restaurant in Magic Kingdom, let alone most popular restaurant on property, period. But wonderful time. I'm so glad, and I feel we're so lucky that we got those 2 reservations, because it's so difficult. And that's how we feel about it. So next week, we're going to talk about New Fantasyland overall. Not just the restaurant, like Be Our Guest, but we're going to talk about Gaston's Tavern. I'm going to talk about Peter Pan's Flight, Mickey's PhilharMagic. And I know this isn't in New Fantasyland, but I'm also going to talk about Cosmic Rays and our experience there. But, you know, with New Fantasyland, I'm going to give you our overall impressions and how we felt about it, because this is the first time we got to see it since it's been finished. The last time we went, it was still under construction. And it is so much different from the first time I went than it is now. So, definitely going to talk about Fantasyland overall, and then, of course, those individual details in the middle. But that finishes up this week. We'll leave you as I leave you every single week. Walt said it best. I hope we never lose sight of one thing. This was all started by a mouse. Thank you for watching this week, and we'll see you guys next week.